Welcome once again, all you Warhammers and Warhammies, to the best episode of Big M's Power Hour to date. I'm your host, Big M, along with my very best co-host in the whole wide world, Cole C. How you doing, Cole?
I'm doing great. Thank you for that intro, sir. I really appreciate it. And yeah, this is going to be a fun one. The long-awaited return to the old world.
Yeah. So, all right, so now it's been 2 months without you.
I'm bad at this. Yeah, I'm bad at this.
Again, look, everyone who's younger than you may not understand, but everyone older than you, been there, done that.
Right.
So nothing to worry about in that regard.
I appreciate it.
So what have you done? I know we don't normally do hobby stuff, but any hobbying, any gaming, anything?
So obviously I have the map campaign that we're both a part of that Neil is running. So I've gotten a couple games in with that, thankfully. I was able to pull off a good defense to start off everything, where it was two folks and myself fighting over a singular tile. Was able to squeak that out. My singular attack, though, did fail.
Who did you attack?
I attacked a fella named Matt. He is playing OCR Bone Reapers.
Ooh.
So at some point...
yeah, that's not a good...
No, and he was on the defense, and we randomly rolled up which mission we were going to play, and it was like the Watchtower, essentially, where he sets up his whole force in the middle, defending a singular spot, and I have to get to it. Yeah, it didn't go well. It really did.
Yeah.
Didn't go well, as it turns out. Yeah. So, that's okay. Went as it should. Outside of that, hobby-wise, not a whole lot. Starting to get some paint. You can barely even see the purple bits that I've gotten on things so far. This unit's complete. That's awesome. 25 swordsmen. This is another 25 swordsmen who are not complete at that an army. So, let's not talk about that.
Look, every brushstroke is one less brushstroke to complete. That's
exactly.
I have a whole little baggie of printed out Rangers, because even if the regular Rangers do come back out, which I assume they will, and we're probably not getting a new sculpt because the old sculpt is hot garbage. I honestly, like, if you were to go to someone that doesn't know anything about Warhammer Fantasy, but knows D&D, and you put the Dwarf Warrior next to the Ironbreaker, next to the Longbeard, next to the Ranger, and they said pick out the Ranger, they're just gonna be like, I don't know.
Oh, I need to go back and look at that old model now.
They're just like regular dwarves.
That maybe there's a bow attached to them somewhere.
Right. They look more like quarrelers than anything else, and it's just...
Oh, no.
No. I'm very particular about my Rangers. Mm-hmm. Aragorn is one of my favorite fantasy characters.
Obviously. Just, yes.
I'm not going with no wimp-ass Rangers there. So, yeah, for me, I actually got about the same amount of gaming in the last 4 days. Mm-hmm. So over the weekend I did my attack versus Alex.
Okay.
With his Slaves of Darkness, and I brought my Soulblight, and yes, I said the right word. Yes. I'm also getting over a cold that has affected my head and has muddled me greatly, so I'm going to say the wrong names or forget them all together sometime tonight.
That's okay. It's okay.
I was originally going to go with the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, but at the last minute I changed my mind and decided to go with 80 zombies.
Yeah, I mean, at least they get to kill something. You know?
Yeah. Well, so that was what was amazing was, he buffed up his Chaos Knights, charged them into a giant block of 20, block of 40,
right,
and did really well. But then I just rolled so many dice.
Right. I'm gonna bury you in dice now, Alex. It's fine.
I was able to essentially block so much damage.
Oof. Oof.
And so he wasn't able to kill off the unit. And so then they started swinging back, and so then they started coming back slowly, and then of course they got pinned where they started. However,
Okay.
I essentially started them on a graveyard.
Oh.
So the only real thing that does is whenever I pick a unit to get models back, they get one extra model back. So instead of 3, I'm now getting 4.
Okay.
So not the end of the world, but
No.
certainly not what you want to do whenever all you want to do is get rid of 40 zombies.
No, it's not helping you. That's for certain.
So we kind of took it after the game. We kind of took a step back and we're like, okay, how could you have won? And I'm like, I don't think it's possible.
Don't charge a block of 40 zombies.
I mean, like, so I forget which one we did. There was 3. And the person that went second could choose to turn one off, I think it was.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
And I went second, and I was like, nah, I'll get them all.
Don't worry. I got all of this. It's all mine. Yeah, that's not going to be heartbreaking to watch him do it then.
And then yesterday I went out to Neil's place to go and get my Dwarf Rangers.
Yes.
And I wanted to give him a good prep game for Brewhammer this weekend.
Heck yeah.
Which I assume you're watching this right now as you're at Brewhammer, so don't pay attention to us. We're not going anywhere. Just finish up your first game, unless you're fighting Dave, in which case you might as well listen in because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, you've got time. Don't worry about it. I mean, he's probably not actually done painting those nobblers right now. He's painting them in front of you. Anyway.
Right. So I brought, Neil brought the list he was thinking about bringing to Brewhammer, which I think in any other GHB would have been a fun list, but he didn't have he couldn't figure out how to get a wizard in.
Oh.
And I think even if it's a dinky little one cast, I think you got to get one in at this point.
Yes, yeah, they're worth a little too much at this point. Yeah. Even if you have to go, well, who can I ally in? All right, there we go.
And so he did kind of a mixed force where he had 2 20 blocks of Plague Bearers and 2 10-man blocks of Blight Kings.
Okay.
Which again, what drives me up a wall is like that's the army that I want to see do well.
Right. Yes. Yes. That could be a very fun army to see do well, I think, and play against.
But I brought Broad Stomp, which what was actually ironic was they're really yes, there was one thing that was beneficial. Most of the King Broad benefits didn't really come into play.
Okay.
Because none of the prayers really work because he kind of depends on high wound count and ward saves, and so doing low sustained damage. So I was like, okay, I can heal everyone 2, not needed. I can increase my Ren by all my big weapons for a turn, not needed. I can give myself +2 movement. Now we're kind of meeting in the middle, not needed. And then I was like, well, I don't need to go past his Plague Bearers. I need to destroy his Plague Bearers.
Yes.
So I didn't need to do the charge and then recharge. But first off, turn 1 was just abhorrent.
Oh no!
It was just ones all over the place.
On both sides, or just
just mine. So
the norm. Right. The norm.
It might have been a little more than norm because I missed. So I had 2 gate breakers. They both missed their attack. I tried to break terrain to throw that rubble. I rolled the 1 for that. Whenever I rolled to do impact hits. I did successfully get all 3 impact hits, but I did, I think, 4 damage among them.
Oh. Oh. So this went well. That's what I'm hearing. This went very well.
Well, so then at least the attack, even though I did mediocre on the attack, I got the right attacks through.
Okay.
So I essentially obliterated 1 unit of plague bearers.
Sweet.
And then essentially we ended that turn. We rolled off. I won. I gave it to him because it was supposed to be a practice match, and he's like, "Don't go easy on me, Hayward." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, this is to
boy, you asked
roll
for
some
it."
dice." And then he's like, "Okay, well, let's just see what would happen if you would do this, if you would take first." I'm like, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
So I had scenery touching broad. So I'm like, okay. I'll smash this to rubble and throw it into the unit.
Mm-hmm.
I friggin' maxed out. So if you don't remember, you pick a piece of scenery that's in 1 inch, roll a die on a 2+, remove the piece of scenery, and then deal damage to everyone that's on it. There was no one on it because it was behind, so no big deal.
Right.
So then you get 2d6 attacks, and I rolled like 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever my attack went through, I think 8 attacks went through, and they are rend 2 or rend 3, which goes through anything that plague bearers can do.
Right. He was now on his 5-ups. Yes.
And each damage is D3 plus 3. So yeah, so 8 D3. I think I did over 30 damage.
I mean, you needed to if it was 20 plague bearers, right?
Well, at this point it was 8 plague bearers.
Oh. Oh. Did you make him roll for it?
No, he was like, roll, haha, you win.
All right. So he was having a great time. That's what I'm hearing.
So I beat him so bad that he switched to KO.
He switched what he's taking to Brewhammer?
Yes, which I think is the right call, because he and I think, are on the same page when it comes to Nurgle.
Mm-hmm.
Just everything about it is awesome, except for putting it on the table.
It looks real good.
And even then, like, putting it on the table is still fun, but it's like your opponent has to basically bring in like Stormcast or Skaven or Orcs. Like, you have to be in that same area in order to actually see what they're supposed to do. Unfortunately, again, you can debate it if you want. I know it's debatable, but I think the damage point in AOS right now is so high that defensive armies just cannot work.
I don't think too many people would argue with you. It is more of a, in my mind, AOS is a point of game of chess right now where you're about to move your piece to kill another piece, and it's whether or not you've left it exposed to get killed in return. That's kind of where we are in AOS. There's some pinning that can go on from a few armies.
Oh, absolutely. There's still some subtleties, but overall, it is, which was very interesting. We had to talk about it after the game.
Yeah.
Because of last episode, whenever I was doing the review of the Chaos Dwarf AOS book, or PDF,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
The profiles are so wildly different.
Oh.
I mean, you have to look the entire... So this is supposed to be a defensive army, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a 4-up base.
Mm-hmm.
And everything essentially hits on 4s.
So bad. It's
but again,
so bad.
If you remember, like, if you go back to try and think of, like, Stormcast, Liberators were, I think, 1 inch reach, 1 attack, 4s, no rend, 1 damage, and then the Grand Hammer was 4s, 3s, 1 rend, 1 damage.
And like I sit here and I say it's so bad, but I remember whenever I was playing my Corn Army the one year at Nova, going up against Chaos Stores and being absolutely demolished. Like it wasn't even like kind of close,
Right.
just ripped apart.
Right. I mean, and again, like I said, they were par for the course. They were pretty good, and if you knew how to use them,
decent army. If you knew what the heck you were doing.
But again, whenever, like now that we're going back to like Old World,
right,
we'll see. You know, whenever you have a 25% success chance of actually getting a wound through, it does a little bit more when everyone's on 5s and 6s.
yes, definitely.
So,
yeah, it's definitely a good way of looking at the way the game might be as a whole right now. We'll wait a couple months here. We're gonna get a new edition, so you know.
The biggest thing is I can't with the community as a whole, which means people that don't go to, don't go to tournaments,
not the tournament people as well. Yeah.
I don't see the way that you go back to having lower armor scores, worse hit ratings, without, even if you did, so let's just say they do indexes. I don't think they're going to do indexes, but if they did do indexes and then they went, hey everyone, you're now hitting on 4s and 3s again, I feel like it would be a very slow adoption. People wouldn't want to play that way.
Yes. I think as you take toys away from people, that's where your problems get to be.
And
there's a reason why we all enjoy points decreases on units and not point increases on units.
I enjoy point increases on every other army I don't play.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, again, like I said, it's one of those things that's like, even though it's better for the game overall, we'll see. Anyways, let's get over to the news here, because I'm itching to get to Old World talk. So first up, we have very beginning of the year.
Definitely.
January 1st, celebrate this store's anniversary with Fire Slayers and Tau Empire. I can't believe that dumb sword is a dumb Tau. And then on top of that, even if that wasn't bad enough, I don't know what's worse, the fact that the sword is a Tau or the hand is a Tau. Because remember the hand, I thought for sure that was a skink.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then, of course, thankfully, we're almost to the number of foot heroes we need to actually make Fire Slayers work.
You mean run a 10-man unit of foot heroes?
I don't know. Did you see, there was actually recently, I forget which event it was, but I was watching Honest Wargamer when he was doing his list review, and there was a Fire Slayer list that did really, really well. And he basically took max of the standalone Grimwrath Berserkers and Doomseekers.
Really?
It's so dumb.
Grimwrath Berserkers and Doomseekers and maxed out on it and pushed out.
I'm like, I don't know how, but you did it. I wonder if he
Congrats.
if he just clumped them up and used them as a mega unit of Hearthguard Berserkers or what?
Apparently, yeah.
If I just take out one unit at a time. Now, with that being said, though, my only complaint about this is that it's it's a anniversary exclusive.
All right. Yes.
The Rune Smiter is probably the worst model in the line. And this is, I think, awesome looking.
Yeah, I like him. I really do. Holding up the key and everything.
Right.
I'm here for it.
And again, like I said, I don't think it's everyone's cup of tea. I think there's some people that just look at Fire Slayers and go, ugh, no thanks.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Fire Slayers definitely not everyone's thing. But for people who like Fire Slayers, I think it's up there on the Fire Slayer list.
A little disappointed that he doesn't have the skirt that the Warcry unit has. I was really hoping to see that.
Oh, yeah, I did. I do like the skirt.
It's
that you
really
had.
cool. Again, that's what I've always really liked. Like, even going back to, like, Obi-Wan from the original Star Wars, whenever he has, like, the Jedi robes and
the kilt going.
Right. I'm like, that, yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
So, yeah, and then we're getting Terminator combat gauge, a cheap backpack, some enamel pins, the cheapest dice.
Yeah, I'm really not a big fan of those dice trays, but I mean, I'm one of those weirdos who uses this wooden one sitting back here.
Yeah,
so,
I still say you need to put, like, a mouse pad down there so the entire world doesn't know you're playing.
No. Everyone knows what I'm rolling dice. The whole convention does.
All right, here we go. Moving along here. January 5th, Old World Almanac, How to Bulk Out Your Regiments with Unit Fillers.
Boy, did Neil have an opinion on this.
I must have missed that episode. I try to watch them all, but like...
Oh, no, just in our group chat.
Oh, in the group chat.
That we're all dead to them if we use unit fillers. So I plan on having unit fillers because I'm already going to paint 100 Empire models. I don't want to paint any more for a bigger unit. When I have my 50 block, if I don't want to paint 50...
I feel like what I want to do now is literally just create a footprint and then literally just one line of dwarves and then just filler all in it.
Yep.
So with that being said, like, I'm not personally a fan of the idea of unit fillers.
Okay, I'm going to definitely go against you here. I'm okay with it as long as it's done in sparingness, in that, like, a 25-man unit that's 5x5, probably not. If you want to run a horde, like I'm talking about running my 50 block of swordsmen, if it represents 10 models of a unit, I'm cool with it.
Like I said, I'll never give anyone a hard time over it.
Right.
But, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be the spirit of the game.
Right.
It's like part of the game is the rank and file.
No, and it is definitely. But I think I've seen a couple back when 8th edition was a thing, and I went to my very first Adepticon as a wee lad. I saw a few units with the unit fillers, and I think they can be done well. There can also be some very shit ones. And if you're one of the people who does one that's just like a marshmallow in the middle of a unit,
right?
Nah.
Now, with that being said, like, the two examples they give, I feel like these are actually pretty good examples because, like, they actually like lend to the unit.
Yeah.
Except for the one picture here that has the little nubbin that's supposed to go to something else that they didn't fill out. But they're not going to do anyways. They're not going to do anyways. But, like, this is clearly, like, in there, you know, like, empowering the undead and, like, here's the equipment or the food.
If somebody loses shield, they just say, Jim, pass me one, and they're good.
Right. So, like, these ones I get. You know, other ones where I've just seen people, like, just put rocks and stuff like that. I'm
like, yes. A rock, not a big fan. Something like what GW has shown us here.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Yep. 100% down for it.
But, I think the bigger surprise, more than just the debate of, you know, yes or no, whatever. I think, whatever, man. Just do you.
Do you. Make sure.
I can't say too much on the channel that you know, touts hashtag gray is beautiful.
I hear you.
I'm just shocked that GW is like, unit filler. Which one thing we'll get into eventually. I don't know how big of blocks we're going to really be seeing.
It's going to be very interesting to see how a year from now we shake out and look down at the meta and go, well, I don't know why they told us to make unit filler, or you need unit filler.
Considering that the entire game is, I mean, we'll get into more in-depth conversation, but as of right now, like, just kind of at first blush, it's almost looking like a lot of people are leaning towards like a 3-rank unit of like 7 wide.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's like, I don't. We'll
I
see.
didn't. I haven't seen any list building stuff as of yet, or old world wise. But I was half getting there on my own. I was still 4 deep
Yeah.
on all the stuff I was planning, but
Yeah.
7 or 8 wide is where I kept ending up.
Mm-hmm. All right, jumping ahead to January 15th, another old world with our new Bretonian Lord.
Oh boy.
So, I don't know if you watched Warhammer Weekly whenever they talked about this.
I did not.
I agree 100% with everything they said on there. So, essentially what they said was like, we've been begging you to like let us know who your artists are, who your sculptors are, so we can thank them. We can say you did awesome and all this other stuff.
Hit them up on socials and be like, hey man, high five. How many people are going to buy this and enjoy it? And this is the time that we learn.
Right. This is the time where they give someone out. And again, this model's 15 years old.
Right. It is from a different era.
Right. It was using much different technology, much different everything.
Right. There was 100% no CAD used in the designing of this model when it was done.
It
was barely a thought.
Absolutely no guff or flack or anything given to the sculptor.
No. He did what he could with the tools he had available.
Like I heard people like
found something in the storage room and said,
right.
It.
Like I hear people like nitpicking like the hand and everything. I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Like if you go down to the picture to look at like the cloak and the shield and like everything from behind, the model's awesome.
No, for its time, and like even some of the flowing pieces of it and things today, they have good, especially consider like most modelers today that work for GW. If you'd have sat them down and said, "Do this," but you don't get to use the computer, they'd be like, "Well,
no, absolutely." They'd be like, "Well, I guess I'll go work Pathfinder."
I guess I'll quit now.
But I said, I can't believe that they would release the model with that face.
Yes. I think if you wanted to do right by this guy, even if he doesn't work for you anymore,
I think he does, but yes.
If he still does, then you tell him, hey, we're going to release it. If you want, you can redo some pieces of it. Go ahead and do that and call it good.
Well, I mean, this should have been
the entire model because
this should have literally been like a, hey, this is what it was. We let the sculptor go back to it, and this is what we have now. Like,
let us show you what the difference of these 15 years of modeling have done. We know you've all seen it, kind of.
Personally, all I want is just an updated face.
And to be honest, it's probably the way it is because you can actually read it from that, and that's why it is. Because if you'd have done it at that time, it's been a round blob, and that'd have been it.
Yeah.
You can see this man has high cheekbones. There you go.
All right, so moving along here, we got our LVO previews. Wow, what a show.
Yeah.
So we got, first, the kill team descends into the world of nightmares. Woo! With our, you like the Night Stalkers? Night Lords. You like the Night Lords?
I mean, yeah, they're all right. I'm happy to see them. Personally,
I would not want to paint that armor.
No, I don't want to. Do not want to paint that armor. I'm a bad painter to begin with, but that armor would be a pain to make all the little electric strikes in there and everything.
Oh, I'm just saying, just the blue, just going with like that super almost black blue, and then you have to like, in order to do it right, you have to do all this edge highlighting. You have to do a little bit of blending. You have to no. You've got to be a talented painter. That's why I'm not doing it. And then below that, looks like 40K gets Umberneth first.
Yeah.
I don't like. What are these? I assume these are.
I believe these are just witches,
mandrakes,
or what they're mandrakes. Okay.
And that's from Dark Eldar, right?
Yeah, Dark Eldar unit that we've had for a while. It's old.
So once again, Kill Team continues to be the ground where they're like, I don't know why these guys are fighting, but they both need new units. So,
I mean, yeah, that is unfortunately for us. Seems to be where GW's doing a unit or so every once in a while. Whereas I'd rather you just release the box so we can all just go off and buy the units we need. But, you know.
All right, moving along. We got then Don't Get Caught by the New Kroot Hunting Pack. So we got new Kroot.
Yeah, we did.
Long time coming.
Yeah, no. Big fan. Love Kroot. That one kill team you picked me up is of the Kroot, and I love it. Like, I enjoy the idea that the Tau have another alien race that works with them.
Yeah.
And they're these cannibalistic, scary guys.
Yep. So brand new sculpts that to take up more room on your shelf. That's
Yep. Hey, maybe they'll make them worth taking since they have new models, especially the riders. That's what I want to see.
That is true. I think the riders might have a place for what little I know about 40K, but
right.
I'm just worried that not worried. I don't really care. I don't have a friggin' dog in the race here, but I have a feeling like this is almost like if you would have had just Caradron Overlords and then you splash in Fire Slayers. And it's like, yeah, you can't get enough Fire Slayers in to make a difference.
Yeah.
All right, moving along here to our AOS.
Yeah.
Krethusa.
Yeah.
Krethusa.
I think that's it.
I read the story. I think the story's absolutely interesting beyond a shadow of a doubt. Did you read it?
I have not read that, no.
So, essentially, she is a worshipper of not Morathi, but Morai Heg.
Morai Heg.
The ancient crone goddess.
Hmm.
And so basically everyone picked on her and called her names, so she basically sat by herself and didn't do anything. And so she went and found the circlet of Morai Heg, which is what she's wearing.
Gotcha.
And one of the key features of the amulet or the circlet of Morai Heg is there's giant spikes that go straight into your eyes.
So it's a commitment to this god.
So she showed her commitment and just was like, all right, jam time.
Wow.
And nothing happened.
Oh.
They don't say, I don't think they say exactly how long, but so she's basically just sitting out in Ulgu, blind as a bat.
Blind. Ugh.
With nothing to do, nothing going on, but like she still doesn't give up hope. And so whenever Morathi ascends to Morathi Kane, it weakens Slaanesh a little bit because Morai Heg is still within Slaanesh.
Okay.
And so a little bit of Morai Heg's power slips out and finds her.
Wow.
And that's whenever she becomes the Crone Seer and she gets her giant wings, and then crows apparently start liking her, and she gets all her powers.
Cool. All right. I personally, I'm a fan of all the like minor gods that are just kind of still floating around in AOS. I think we need to play around with that more, but
yeah, exactly. I think you have more play whenever you use the smaller gods. Like a shit.
Yeah, that one.
So overall, I'm kind of torn on the model itself.
I mean,
okay. So just kind of
all right. Yeah.
Have it on the screen, and just kind of sit back and just look at the model as a whole. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Okay. I can give you that.
I see hair, I see wings, and I see the exact same arc that Ionis is on.
Oh, geez. I didn't see that until you just said it. So, I think I would have liked it if she was standing straight up a little bit more.
Something.
Because it almost looks like she's trying to come down off of that at me.
Yeah.
From the pose.
I almost feel like they would have been better off having her actually fly.
Maybe.
And have those long robes be what hold her up.
What's attaching her to the ground, yeah. Yeah, it could have looked good. I don't think it's a bad model, but yeah, it's going to be... I want to see it in person, like actually on the table, because I feel like it's going to be smaller than what I'm looking at right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like this model, to do things right, needs to almost be a totem on the battle.
Yeah. So I said, I feel like it would have been better if they would have had something that where she was levitating and flying. I'm not a huge fan of all the hair in her face. I get what they're going for. It would have been
nice to see a little bit more. Yeah.
But I would say just give her like a sash underneath and then like scarring or blood or something. I don't know.
Yeah, just show us her face and show that, yes, we mean it. This is embedded in her eyes. Yeah.
Right.
Get a little dark with it.
Right. I mean, like, the amount of sub-assembly you're going to need to be able to do to paint this thing.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be able to put the wings on. Not going to be able to put the head on. Not going to be able to put the hair on. Not going to be able to put probably the robe on. Like, you probably have to have the robe attached, and then you're going to have to paint the body, and glue that on. And
yeah.
Well.
Hey, at least you're not doing it. Chuck, on you, buddy.
Yeah, that's. I do like the book or the box she's coming out with.
Yeah.
Got to sell those.
Look,
sell them riders
sitting on shelves everywhere. No one will buy them. I'm gonna make you buy them. Okay, you will own these horses.
Oh, I know. Like, I just love the here. Guess what? Doomfire Warlocks. Guess what? Doomfire Warlocks. Like, at this point, they have to just know it's a joke at this point, and they just have to like.
Yeah. Did you buy a box for daughters? Bet you have 5 Doomfire Warlocks.
Next we got our Callus and Toll reveal, which I was honestly a little more excited for.
Oh, really?
I mean, the sculpt, like all the sculpts are so cool.
They are, and they all tell a story. It's pretty cool.
I don't know which is which. Like I said, I read through the stories, but I don't. Like I said, I don't remember who's who. I'll just call him Toll because I'll say no. Free Guild Officer Callus. So Callus is the one in the heavy armor with 2 guns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they called him Callus 2 Guns, we would understand who's who.
You know, why the heck didn't we do that?
Got a little lady who's just begging to be a Skaven.
I see it. Yeah.
And then, did you read the article on this one?
I did not. No.
I have not read any of the books really. I'm not a big book reader. I wish I was. I I can't keep my eyes on the page. So the story behind this lady is, so she has these cats that just go everywhere and witness everything, and the little gem on their necklace is what basically records what's going on, and so she just has a spy network of cats.
Okay, that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool idea though.
And then the Stormcast guy, I think he's awesome until you see that thing on his back.
Yeah, it's another one of those weird death motif things that you're sitting there going, Sigmar, do you need to tell us something? Are you going through an emo phase and not telling all of us?
I feel like...
Do you miss the gash?
Yeah. Depending on how integrated that is, I don't know if it's going to make it to the final cut.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I think you could take that off of there.
Yeah.
And the Iron Halo that you do for Space Marines.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys definitely need to have those. That would be awesome looking.
Yeah, I think that surrounding his head right there, that will look good.
And then, of course, they're getting their own book, so that'll be real exciting.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Okay. Let's see, moving along here. Oh, we got another Underworld's Warband.
Yeah.
It's
who called
undead.
It was on the bingo card.
Undead guy with a zombie guy with another zombie guy and another zombie guy and a werewolf guy.
Yeah.
I want to be excited for these.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember whenever they would just try and like do something interesting or do things in a way that we haven't seen before, and it's like this is just like this one and the Cruel Boy ones. I don't know how you feel, but for me, I feel like they've literally just gone up to bat and bunted.
So this is one of those ones that I look at it and I feel terrible for not even remembering the name of the game now off the top of my head. The one that got discontinued from by GW that we were all so excited for. These are models that were meant for it.
Oh, I bet you're right.
That's where my brain went as I'm looking at these and I'm like, you know where these fit? That game.
Yeah, that's Curse City.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. These are Curse City
That's
models in my mind. That, yeah.
I can see an argument. Now, I for counter argument, I will state they do all have textured bases. That'll be my counter.
You know what? Okay, fair enough.
But
fair enough.
It's not that textured. So let's see. I don't know. I'll put it this way. If I read that on the internet, I'd be like, I could see it.
Could see it.
Yeah. Hell, that would have been really cool if the game would have kept going and this was actually planned to be a tie-in or crossover.
Right. This is the outside somewhere, some courtyard or something.
Warhammer, Horus Heresy, tanks, and sci-fi spacemen. Yeah. You excited?
I mean, yeah, as much as you can be. It's cool to see them.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoever's been wanting this, Cole has a new dog. Whoever wanted to see this,
she's getting curious and wondering why she's not being paid attention to. Come here.
We might get some more views if you bring.
Say hello.
Yeah. Oh.
Look. Say hi. My name is Jester. I don't understand why I'm up here. Hi.
But yeah, whoever this is for, they're ecstatic that it's out, and I'm happy for you. That's what I want to see.
I'm glad that you got your guardsmen and your tanks.
That's the thing is like awesome. as little as like basically the no desire I can drum up for this. Mm-hmm. I can at least tell that whoever this is for, they did right by them.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
And then the big news I haven't heard anyone talk about. Mm-hmm. ITC joins Warhammer events and excited organized play update. So they finally did it.
Well, I think they were already saying they were going to be a part of each other, but yeah, I mean, needs to be more of a thing. That especially since the ITC is a big way of how players are showing their appreciation of this game and wanting to play it, and it has the biggest tournaments in all of the world for this game. Probably should have a helping hand with GW on all of this.
I don't know. So here's the other thing. Like, so
I would talk about it. She jumped herself. Why'd you do that?
It's just like I don't know if it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll give it.
Give it some time.
Right.
Give it some time.
I get nervous on how GW likes to. I would say I think it's fair to say that GW has a trend of being very excited about projects and then quickly losing steam like the rest of us.
Right. And I think is the idea that GW is going to be like, look, we're partnering with them. Hey guys, what do you think? Gives feedback.
Right.
GW forgets to check mail.
Right.
Like that's a very real possibility in my mind.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm interested to see what they have to offer. I am a little nervous that GW will continue to be GW and GW it up a little bit.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like if they did something, I don't know. That,
Uh,
it's not a necessary bad thing, but it's not necessarily a
no,
good thing either. So we'll see. Time will tell.
it's a good way of putting it. Yes.
All right, looks like we have a couple more old world articles coming up here.
Yeah.
January 19th. Oh, yes, I put this in here because I don't know how many people have been in the hobby as
Somehow
long as
we're
I have.
unaware. Yeah. Yeah.
So, how many what kind of experience do you have with resin and pewter
So,
or metal?
Finecast, or as it was called during the time,
Yeah.
Crapcast. I think I owned a whole 6 models of it. I forget what the unit of 5 would have been, but I know I had a unit of 5 something. But I remember one of them being a Skull Taker I'd gotten, the Corn Hero. And I got it, and I was so excited. I opened it up when I got home, and his whole foot was missing because of an air bubble.
Yes. Well, so thankfully we don't have to worry about that for this.
Yes.
This is Forge World resin.
Yes. This will be better and easier. You have to bath this before you paint it. You have to give it a bath.
And it's not hard.
But
I want to
it
make sure everyone
isn't.
knows.
No.
All you do
It's not difficult.
is
Just gotta go ahead.
the easiest way I've found to do this is simply just go online and buy those Tupperware containers that are real shallow. Like I had a whole bunch
I was
just
gonna
on
say, you
hand.
have some in your kitchen. Just don't
Right.
tell your wife.
I have them on hand because I use them for homemade wet pallets.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so all you do is fill one up with water, put one simple drop of dish soap, mix it up with a toothbrush, rinse them real quick, then have a second one next to you, put them in there, rinse off the soap, take them out, put them on a towel to dry, wait an hour, and then you're good to go. What that does is like there's a release powder on there on those, and so that needs to be washed off, or otherwise it won't stick. It'll get in the way of the glue and it'll break the seal.
Right.
Now, with that being said, Forge World resin has a weird quirk that I've yet to figure out how to predict, where it will instantly bond with super glue sometimes.
That's interesting.
Yes. Well, I accidentally ruined the $90 Custodes event exclusive Forge World model because he held a helmet tucked into his arm here, and I put the glue on the helmet instead of in the armpit, and as I went to go push it in, it just stuck right here.
Oh no!
I tried everything I could.
Yeah, before it gets there.
Oh no! So it was supposed to be here, and it was literally just on his chest.
Oh.
And so I tried to get it off. I tried freezing, wouldn't work. So I eventually used a super glue dissolver, and it warped the model. It melted the detail.
Nice.
So down the drain. So just with that, just know you have to wash them. Whenever it comes to super glue, I hate using super glue beyond a passion. I would recommend getting an accelerant.
Okay.
You can go on. You can just go on Amazon. You can find super glue accelerant, and you basically just go. It smells terrible. Sorry in advance. And then you gotta go boom. You gotta go
Whenever
fast.
it goes boom, that's it. You better have wanted it that way.
Now the hold isn't as strong as if you just let it naturally cure by itself. However, if you're sitting there with super glue and you're moving it even just a little bit, like if you're trying to hold it and you're digging a little bit, what you're doing is you're breaking the bond, so you're going to be even weaker than if you would have just used accelerant.
Right.
Now for pewter models, you don't have to wash these. It works out a little bit better if you do. And I apologize. I know they're not pewter. They're metal. They're not pewter. It's some...
It's an old people term now.
Yes.
Come on, these are metal.
So for these, you definitely need to find flashing all over them.
Yeah, you will find flashing everywhere.
And so for that, you actually need to use some big boy files like I use on my plastic models that everyone looks at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, how do you deal with nubs without real files? I don't understand. But that's neither here nor there. You definitely need to use some big boy glue here. I recommend pinning. It sucks. Okay. It sucks to do metal pinning. However, once you pin metal, it ain't going nowhere.
Gotcha.
I back when I was doing War Machines, I saw online that there was an online exclusive version of one of the War Jacks called the Juggernaut Extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever it came in, I was really expecting this really big model, and I was kind of disappointed in the size. But I really hadn't been playing. It was just like, oh, some buddies were talking about playing again. I might get my army back up to snuff. And so I put him in this really like big swinging up pose where I had his arm fully stretched out. The other arm was as far back as possible. His feet were taking up the whole base. And then afterwards, I went and got my regular model. So like the regular one was like this big. He was like this big. He was like 3 wide now because of the stance I put him in, and because I pinned him, he wasn't going anywhere. What's funny is I was playing with him, and I accidentally knocked him off the table. He dented the floor and did not break.
Nice.
Back in those days, whenever there was a lot of pewter models, I had a creed where it was, if your model breaks, or if your model falls apart, you failed as a wargamer. That was...
So, that pinned model held together.
Some of my... well, here, hold on. A little show behind the scenes here. So they came out with big models. So that's one of the big ones. So he's a lot of metal. Yep. He's actually put together with 2-part JB epoxy weld.
Oh boy. Okay.
You could shoot him and he's not coming apart.
There we go. So if Matt's models ever fall apart in front of you, be certain to look up from the table and tell him you're not a real war gamer.
Now, if the model breaks at a non-gluing point, that's not me. That's the model.
That's GW.
Like that, because like every single one of my, not almost every single one, but like a quarter of my Hearthguard Berserkers that have the flail, the chain is so small that it snaps all the time. But not where I glued it, because I use plastic glue and that shit's melted.
Fair enough.
All right, so then now we have something that's going into the Book of Grudges, January 20th. What's that? The dwarves are coming out. No, it's Orc and Dumb Goblins.
Yep, the Orc and Goblins Almanac.
So as you can see here, this actually gives us a good idea as to kind of what we can expect for armies going forward, where it seems like everyone's going to get a pretty decent battalion box.
Yep.
We'll see. Again, I know a lot of people are excited about it. I was really hoping for some more, or for some dwarves, but
I mean, at least we're getting around to some armies, and I enjoy the 2 new miniatures. Well, I guess 3.
And I'm very glad that it is like, they're like, hey, army released, hey, guess what? Here's your new army. So I'm hoping at Adepticon we get another army announced.
Yeah, it'd be very good if they could do that. And
I would like all armies to be out before 1 year.
I was going to say 2 years, just because with the upcoming intro of AOS 4, I think you missed some time there because of that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing is, just don't do it in July.
I hear you. But I don't think they're going to go at like a once a month pace.
No, I don't either.
They'll run it.
I think if we can get maybe 1 or 2 a quarter.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that would be good pace.
Yeah. 1.5 2 years, be out. Everyone's got everything easily available to them. Talk about it later. But
Yep. All right. So now we'll go over a little more in depth here. We got the on the 22nd, we got the Old World Almanacs for all the legacy armies.
Yeah.
I was, we're not commenting or critiquing on how good they did or how poorly they did with the individual things themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, well done. You said it was going to be a couple weeks, and before the month was over, you had them out. Excellent.
Yep. That was good.
Like I said, good. I know I give GW a lot of flack, but I do look for places to give them credit.
You hit a home run here. We can't say something bad. Good. And make sure these people can play with their armies.
Just overall, my biggest fear has been alleviated. I don't know enough about the game to really be able to say one way or the other, but I can tell just by reading some of these and looking them over, they were not pooped out.
Good.
These were crafted. These are at the same quality level as the other books, as the little books.
Which is very sad that they don't think these also should be in tournament play. But
well, again, I basically think that you're going to have these until probably half of the almanacs are out,
and I'll be okay with that. And
I think now I do think that basically the death knell for these will be second edition.
Yeah, that's probably when you do it.
Yeah,
that it gets too hard to keep up with these, and the next one, yeah,
right. So we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully the community can find a way to keep them alive in a second, because I just want more people to be able to play.
Nope, that's not it. Oh well, I thought I had. So they there was an article about their rules for old world tournaments or old world events that they're running, but
yeah,
I can't find it. I thought I pulled it out and I did not. I apologize. Oh well. Okay, moving on. Basically, I had some gripes, but it's their event. I'll never go to one anyway, so...
Right, I was going to say, we'd have to hop on a plane to go anyway, right. So, nah.
All right, okay. Moving along, January 25th, Meta Watch for Age of Sigmar for unpacking the Las Vegas Open. We had first place, Jeremy L. Sorry, Jeremy, not going to try it. Winning with Cities of Sigmar. With none of the ranged unit.
Yeah, really interesting there how that was a thing, but I'm glad to see it.
I was super happy to see all the witch hunters, because you know how much I love witch hunters.
Yeah, it was one of those things. I looked at this list and I went, boy, I don't know enough about Age of Sigmar anymore, apparently, because I didn't realize that this was the list to beat, apparently.
Well, I don't think anyone else has actually run this list.
That's true. It's true.
And second place, Cities of Sigmar, with a completely different list. Now, I've heard, this is unconfirmed. Unconfirmed. But I heard there was a kerfuffle.
Yeah, I saw about a kerfuffle over on the old Twitters as well, and I didn't want to dig into it just because I don't want to be that disappointed.
So, for people that are unaware, I don't know if this is the list. Yeah. I did not look into the kerfuffle, I just heard of the kerfuffle. All I know is that there was a player who brought a lot of steam tanks who was discovered to be using weighted dice.
Yep. It's a dumb miniatures game. Who cares? Why would you do that? So, whether it was this person or not.
Yeah. So just in general,
we're all here to play with toys.
Right. I mean, there's no prize money.
Nope. Just a lot of bragging rates.
Getting in first and second.
Having a fun time.
Yeah, like I said, getting in first and second. Like, here's the thing: is like,
yeah, it's cool.
I mean, okay, what if I won LVO last year?
Right.
No one would care this year.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, this is only getting first and second at a large event like this. This is for yourself.
Mm.
Now, I mean, maybe, who knows? Maybe his like dad was held hostage by the mafia or something, and they're like, if you don't take a podium spot.
Hopefully, it's none of these people on here,
right?
Because I honestly don't know enough to comment on who it was that was.
So again, just in general, not saying that this is the person that did it or not, but just in general, come on, guys, let's just not do that. Now, third place. And nope, that's just 2 pages. Third place, we got blades of corn.
There's a lot of blades of corn. All right.
So, what do you think of this list?
I think it's a pretty interesting list. Honestly, the more I look at the Underworld's warbands that get put into lists, the more I realize, probably needed for the army. I do like that it's obviously just a Khorne Demons list because that's just the best in my mind, and I love it that it's a thing now. But yeah, it's a really interesting list. I don't want to get hit by 20 bloodletters a point. Scarbrand's also something I don't want to get hit by, and a priestly bloodthirster also pretty good. So I enjoyed it. This is a list that I think takes a lot of skill because it looks like you have a lot of units, but we have a lot of the Underworld's warbands, which have some okay output. I think the Claws of Karnak actually have some decent output for their points.
Now, the Claws of Karnak, is that the Warcry warband?
Yeah, that's the Warcry warband.
So,
the one where they look like they're dogs.
So first place we have a bunch of Underworld's warbands. Well, just the one warband. But now in third place we have a Warcry and an Underworld's warband. So clearly, if you don't have a Warcry and or Underworld's warband unit in your list, you ain't placing.
Exactly.
Go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. But no, big thing is they can grab objectives real quick and then they die easy, so that you make Blood Tithe.
Now,
all things considered.
For proof of it, all you have to do is look at fourth place that doesn't have an Underworld warband or Warcry unit.
And he only got fourth out of a how many people tournament? Like,
now,
come on.
Neil and I were looking at this list.
Yeah.
Neither of us have a frigging clue how this list succeeded. Like,
if you would just get good, this game would be so much easier for you.
Yeah. I mean, it just wasn't so dumb.
Yep.
Now, like, I just don't see, like... So, on my list, I had... 30 Thunderers.
Okay.
And it still wasn't enough output?
So 20, how we getting this through? Okay.
I don't know. So I had, like I said, I had 30 Thunderers and a on an Ironclad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's just like, and who cares? Like,
jeez.
So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, the way I can see it is kind of like, so he has the Grunstock gun hauler with the collapsible compartments, which means that things can go on it. He also has a unit of 6 Endrinriggers, so 1+1 means that's probably a little assassin unit.
Yes, this is
charge in,
fly in and dump on you. Yeah.
Because being able to have 6 Endrinriggers attack from the boat, and if you start attacking the boat, they can heal the boat if you don't kill it. I can see that having some play.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, I don't. Yeah, I'm. It's interesting. It's a 2-drop.
Very interesting.
I don't have a second frigate, but I might finish putting my second frigate together to see. I hate working on frigates, so.
Well, might just have to play around with this. Let's see what we're doing here. Understand what's going on.
Well, that was the other thing. Like, we were Neil and I were talking about Caradron Overlords, and like, boy, I just don't feel good about myself playing Chaos.
It's fine.
it's an interesting list, and I think it's one of those ones where you have to get it on the table to see how it plays. And I think you have to
that's definitely something you just have to rep a lot, right?
very. I think the thing that interests me about it is like you're clearly going to have one block of 10 Thunders on each frigate.
In my mind, that's what I'd be doing, yes.
Which I feel, because I mean, unless you're going to be putting them on the ground and flying the frigates around with nothing, I don't know why you would do that.
Right.
It feels a little less.
I'd have to double check the ranges on those.
18 inches.
What was that?
18 inches.
They almost could stand on the ground, hold an objective for a turn or two.
Well, so that was one of the things that before this current edition, one of my plans was always to take one block of maxed out Thunderers with an Aether Chemist, and everything that would attack them would get -2 to hit.
So you could at least survive and stay on it, yeah.
So, well, anyways, good luck, good job to everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Sure, it was fun. That event every year, it always looks like a blast, especially after having been.
Oh, I know. So again, whenever you better get everything out of your system, because when Chaos Dwarfs come out, I'm going to need a buddy to go to like everything.
We're going to have to go and hit it all up again.
Yes.
Yep.
So then we got on the 31st, Death Reigns, New Regiments, Renowned, and free rules for Ushuran. So first up, we have the Regiment of Renown for what looks like oh crap. See, here it is what I said. The Lady Mortarch.
Right. Yes.
The one from the Legion of Blood that I run.
Yeah. Wish I could remember her name too, because I have the model.
Yeah.
Like
and it's in here somewhere. I just can't.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Anyways, what this one does is it allows you to Neferata, sorry.
There we go.
The main thing that they show is you're able to change your battle tactic once per game at the end of the battle shock phase.
That's interesting.
I think if I was a good player, I'd be like, wow, I'm totally going for that. But as someone who's not a good player,
I really like it.
Right?
Like, I could tell you, Matt, that I'm going to go for this.
Right.
And watch you. I'm going to kill your general. I'm going to use best day ever, all out defense on him from this attack.
Yep.
He'll be safe. Actually, I'm going to do this other thing.
Right.
Because it's easier to do that now.
Right. Okay, so it looks like that doesn't make sense.
What's up?
So it's Neferata, and she focuses on Black Knights and Death Rattle Skeletons, despite being from the Legion of Blood. That's supposed to focus on vampires.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Let's see here. So for Flesh Eater Courts, Ushran, 10 Crypt Guard, and 3 Bounding Morbeg Knights make up the Summer King's Entourage.
Yeah.
So you get Maddening Radiance, add 1 to attack characteristic of melee weapons used by units in this regiment round while they're wholly within 12 inches of Ushran. I have a feeling this is going to be a nightmare. Because it sounds like it's just units that you already want to bring to your army.
Right. This is my army normally. I will take the upgrade. Thank you. Also, I just decided to pull up Ushuran's profile.
Which we're getting to next. And then the last one requires Lady Olander and receiving strike first effects on unmodified 8+ charge roll, something I would never see.
Well, yeah, if you could actually just roll like that, it'd be okay.
Right. Just roll sixes, then it's good.
Why would you not just roll sixes?
So straight into Oshron here, the Mortarkov Delusion. So this guy is, we'll keep in mind, he is 460 points. So he is a Mega Gargant level.
Okay, I am calming down then about it. Okay.
Now, with that being said, he's still 4-up save, 16 wounds, and I'm sure there's some way for him to heal.
Yep.
2 cast Wizard.
Yep. Not
2
bad.
Unbind.
Sweet.
War Master. Rules that I don't understand yet because I haven't looked at the Flesh Eater rules.
Okay. Yeah, so you can pick a delusion from your battle trait, and you can basically say, we're going to have this delusion apply. Delusion is a certain type of buff. Normally you pick it at the beginning of the game, and I think you're stuck with it. But here you can be like, actually, I need to swap what I'm delusional about real quick.
So then the Noble Deeds, again, I've only under a basic idea of what the Noble Deeds do.
Yeah, I barely do.
But it doubles the range of what it counts as, so that's...
Yeah.
Okay.
Not gonna hurt. Not gonna hurt at all.
Only within 24 instead of 12. As someone that's played with Fire Slayers in the past, I can tell you that's a little bit of a difference.
Yes.
Trying to keep 32 mil bases in a 12-inch bubble is a lot harder than a 24-inch bubble.
Yeah, all of a sudden you can breathe.
Let's see. Shroud Cage Fragment. At the start of the combat phase, subtract 1 bravery characteristic from each enemy unit within 3 inches of the unit and until the end of the battle. Then roll 2d6 for each enemy unit within 1 inch of the unit, of this unit. If the result is higher than that bravery, then strike last applies. So each combat. So yeah, you literally just drain that bravery.
Combat. Yep.
Drain.
If I am stuck in combat with you, it's just gonna get worse.
Which again, I don't know. Unless you're Varangard, I don't.
Right. Not a lot's getting stuck.
Right.
But if you're stuck in with something,
here's the healing.
It's gonna get worse.
5-up ward. In addition, in your hero phase, 2d3 wounds allocated.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing he doesn't have a lot of wounds. Only 16.
It's still 4-up with a 5-up ward.
4-up, 5-up. Yeah.
Not bad. Which means he's basically going to be a 3-up, 5-up at all times.
Right. Yep.
If not a 2-up, 5-up.
And then you got to add in Ren, so we're talking more like a 5-up, 5-up. But you know.
So let's see here. So, and his spell, casting value of 7, range of 18, pick 1 enemy unit within range invisible, then pick 1 melee weapon that enemy model is armed with, and pick 1 other enemy unit within range. That enemy model immediately makes combat attacks with that weapon targeting that other enemy unit.
Interesting. Because it's picking a model and having it attack a unit. So you can have some pretty interesting things go on there.
Yeah. Do not bring Gotrek against this army.
Yeah. Oh, Gotrek. Oh, is he standing within 3 inches of an ally? Be a real shame if he just got a delusion where he need the chop his friends up. Anyway,
here. Now let's look at his his attack profile, because I actually really like his attack profile.
It's a very interesting one. I enjoy it.
So the Scepter, 3-inch reach, 3 attacks, 3s, 2s, Ren 2, D3 plus 3. I love D3 plus 3.
Yep, should be something they should have used more.
Again, like I don't know if we need to go D3 plus 3 every time, but a D3 plus 1, I'm not going to play that.
Yes, D3 plus a thing instead of D6 rolls.
Right.
That's where we should be.
So, with this, on the lucky swing, you'll get 2 attacks through.
Right.
And essentially with a Ren 2, as long as you're going against the right target, both of those are going to go through.
Right. I mean, there are some times one will get blocked because you're going to have to swing at something with armor with this, more than likely.
But on the lucky choice, or the lucky roll with the correct choice, you're looking at a minimum of 8 damage.
Right.
That can't argue
Not bad.
with that.
Not bad.
And then Monstrous Claws, you're looking at 10 attacks there. 3/3s, rend 1, 2 damage apiece.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, again, you're going to give him all out
helps you
attack.
get through a horde that you get caught in with.
Absolutely.
So seems great.
Yeah, overall, I here's what I'll say, with my limited knowledge of where Flesh Eater Courts is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do not use this guy at first.
Mm-hmm.
If you start with him in your army, you're eventually going to take him out of your army, and you're going to have no idea how to play that army.
Get good without him.
And then put him in. Yes. Now over to the article that cuts a little closer to home. Came out just this morning, day of recording. Fangs of the Blood Queen, how Neferata's top lieutenant wages war. And wages war and will be in my list. Have you looked at this?
I have not gotten to this today, no.
So, on the opposite side of the coin, from 460 down to 160.
Okay.
6-inch move, fine. It's all vampires. 7 wound, 4 up save. Meh. Not great,
Very
right?
meh. Very meh.
Just tuck that in the old back. So we're gonna hold off. We're gonna hold off. So let's just start on the attack profile. Love the attack profile. Love it.
Okay.
4 attacks, 3/3s, 2 rend, 2 damage. Mwah. You don't necessarily want to be in combat with her, but if you can get her in combat,
1 rend, 2 damage on the first one. 1 rend, 2 damage.
1 rend, 2 damage.
Okay.
Then the next one, the snake attacks, 2 attacks, 3/3s, 2 rend, 2 damage. Mwah. Just a little friendship. Just
right. It's not the most terrifying thing in the world.
Right.
Not something you want to hang out with.
But yeah, like I said, there's no foot hero that's going to want to stand up to that.
No.
Now, again, for 160 points, 2 cast wizard.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
2 cast wizard.
2 cast wizard for 160.
Oh my god,
that's a buy. That's a buy.
Right. So you can get rid of the attack profile.
Right.
Just go 2 cast wizard for 160. Done. I'm in. That's
in.
You got me.
I'm up.
But wait, there's more.
Here's my money. Done.
Once per battle, at the start of the combat phase, you can say that she will use her Time Swallower's Maw, and if you do so, roll 2d6. Each enemy unit within 6 inches of this unit whose move characteristic is lower than roll suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the difference.
I'm so sorry, dwarf players. I'm so sorry that she got in the middle of 2 units, rolled 2 dice. Oh, did she roll a 10?
Yeah, there's 6
she
more.
Won't. She's more than likely only going to roll a 7. But that time she does roll a 10. You're just going to cuss out the other player across her.
So here's the ability that makes it go, I don't mind about a 4-up save.
I just read it.
Attacks that target this unit only score a hit on an unmodified 5 or 6.
Yep. 4-up armor don't seem so bad all of a sudden.
That's a mighty fine 2-up wound you got going on there. Or 2-up hit. Pfft, cool. 5 or 6, please.
Doesn't say melee attacks. Doesn't say shooting attacks.
Yep. Attacks. And then, of course, on top of that, we have her spell. Casting value 6. Range of 18. Pick 1 enemy unit within range invisible until your next hero phase. That unit cannot pick this unit or friendly units wholly within 6 of this unit as a target of spells, prayers, abilities, or shooting attacks.
Excuse me.
Soul Blight's going back at the top.
Your Reavers are real good. That 20 block, it really hurt. No.
I mean, just imagine. So imagine this. She charges in, followed by a tight pack of like a wounded unit of zombies going into those Reavers. Now here's 20 zombies I can get within 6 inches. So you can't shoot. You can't unleash hell.
Yeah.
Can't cast spells on, can't cast abilities, can't cast prayers. Just got to fight them.
Just have to melee it down.
And unfortunately, to fit her in, I had to take my Geminids out. But could you imagine if also you couldn't use command abilities on that unit?
Unfortunate.
Such a shame.
Oh,
Yeah.
It hurts.
So to fit this in, all I did was so far I'm just going to take out the my skeletal knights and the Geminids.
And that's it. Slot her right in.
Yeah, because again, like I said, I really like the skeletal riders, but like, there's no other point thing that fits together.
Right. No easy. Yeah.
Like I'd have to get rid of, in order to keep them, I'd have to get rid of like the Necromancer, Fellbats, and then something else, and then I'd have like a big point gap, but not enough to fill in. So we'll see. We'll see. We are buying that box now. That's.
I was gonna say, you hit me with you're gonna pay 160 points.
Right.
Gonna give you a 2-cast wizard.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. We're done. GW. I'll take it. Whatever else you'd write. Oh, you wrote a good war scroll as well.
I don't know why.
Okay.
They are whoever's like the Soul Blight rule writer is in love with this army right now.
Mm-hmm.
If they can hire a guy who loved dwarves as much as this guy loves Soul Blight.
Yeah. No, that whoever is in on it, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're here. Maybe he has to go to 170, 180. But
I would not be surprised to see her go up to 220 pretty quick.
220 feels too much.
I know, but that's where the army is. So at that point, then my skeletal riders come back and the necromancer goes.
Perfect.
All right. So then the last article, we have they're bringing back Triumph and Treachery in the newest Dawnbringer book, and it looks like they've actually taken some time and
to do it right,
and did it pretty interestingly. So you start now with 50 command points. And you do not generate any more by by usual means.
Okay.
And so on top of command abilities, you can spend them on ploys, and you can even offer to give some of your command points to other players. And so some of the ploys sound like assholes.
I just read the first one.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
This will be fun. I'm glad that it looks like somebody sat down and went, hey, this is a format, a way of playing this game we should have fun in.
Right.
We should take a note out of that Neil guy who does this thing every year. He lets people play these cards, do things other people start. We should do that too.
Yes. Yeah.
But we'll make it be our own thing.
There are 26 ploys.
It's gonna be awesome. Might make me want to play a game or two of Triumph Treachery for fun.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure if Chuck hasn't read this yet, he's going to be very excited.
Purposely try and make that happen during the map campaign.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Awesome.
Let's do a little bit of a palate cleanser here.
Yeah.
Hold on one sec. Okay, so starting back on January 9th.
Some sort of strange water creature we have not seen.
Yep. Looks like a fishtail to me, or a zote as the
Yes. It's gonna be some sort of strange lizard creature we're gonna get crawling out of a jungle.
I feel like we've been seeing a lot of water-based rumor engines.
That is true. Do you think we're just building up for a Warcry warband or something like that?
I don't know, because that's...
I don't know where this would get slotted in.
Well, I mean...
No, I mean, unless you're going to sit here and be like, Deepkin getting a new box.
I mean, they could be getting a new box.
I'm not going to be upset. This is some sort of endless spell or something.
Do you guys have a Warcry Warband?
Yes.
Okay. So you already have that. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe you're getting like 2 or 3 more
Not
units.
Warcry, I guess. It's Underworld.
Oh, yeah. So you could be getting a
2X.
So you might be getting a Warcry. I'd say either a Warcry Warband or maybe 2 new units. Or like a hero unit.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah.
Let's see. Moving along. Oh, yeah. So this is what I was thinking of. January 16th.
Hey, does that look like the water from the Eidolon? Just like out of curiosity.
I mean, to me, I know I've gotten a lot. I've heard looks like sculpted water, looks like smoke. To me, it looks like coral.
Okay. I might be able to grab it. Give me a second. Oh my goodness, my arms reach. Okay.
Yeah, but 2 out of 3 of those.
Yeah, it's looking like an Eidolon to me. I mean that's making me think that cloak. Like that's why I'm on the cloak train.
I can see it being either.
Yep.
All
Whatever it is, that looks very
here.
Very.
Next one, January 23rd. You're gonna blow your mind.
Let me click on over here. It's a cloak. Oh my word! Who could it be?
I want this so desperately not to be a cloak.
Gosh, yes. Honestly, that would be the real. Like good on you, GW, if you get us.
If this is like I desperately want this to be like a Blood Bowl tablecloth or something.
Oh. Yes.
Like there's a little stain on there. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but you could be like.
Oh, definitely on there on purpose. Like this is something to do with like Skaven or something like that. That's why it's filthy.
I don't know. It's not ragged enough.
I suppose I could see that.
And it's also rounded at the end there. At the top.
It is. Would you stop? I had a good one for a change.
And then Sylvaneth.
I mean, yeah, if it's not Sylvaneth, I don't know exactly what you're doing with what army right now. But
Yep.
So here's a question. The first couple words in this one is nope. It's a nope on Zotes. Do you think this is related at all to the one on the 9th?
No, I don't.
Okay. I didn't think so either, but big conspiracy theorist. Big brain it here.
Yeah, I'm a part, like, it's probably a model, but it just seems so... I mean, obviously it's a model, but I mean like a unit or a hero or something. I'm wondering if we're going to get like a choice for like a new terrain feature.
I was just about to say terrain of some sort. Or some sort of strange unit that deals with some bee that's off in the world of Age of Sigmar.
Well, so as far as that goes, here, let me go over to warhammer.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I got it. Go over to Sylvaneth.
Mm-hmm.
And look for Drycha.
Oh.
So you actually have a choice of what type of bug comes out of her shoulders.
And this is one of them.
Make it big, GW. Make it big. What are you doing? So yeah, they have the option of like flies, or no, the little grubs or the little bees.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I mean, it's very much already on brand and already in there.
Yeah.
I just can't make it bigger.
It's okay.
So yeah.
Kind of say I'm disappointed how much is temporarily out of stock as you look through this line too.
Oh, I know. Like, so in order to try and start doing some, well, screw it. We'll start talking about it now. So now that we are starting to actually get in the flow of things with Old World, I wanted to try and start getting my dwarf army together.
Of course, yeah.
So, like, I need a couple more iron breakers, and I need one more gyrocopter. I'm not doing the stupid ass 7 gyrocopter list where the hell people are talking about. It's just dumb. Just dumb, and you're not going to win. You're just going to be a pain in the ass for a couple months, and then. But I do think 2 is really good.
Okay. Do you still need? I have one sitting behind me in this drawer.
We'll see.
Okay. If you still need, let me know.
Did you build it?
No. New inbox, unbuilt.
I hate building them so much because I think if I look around, I might have another one because.
Okay.
I remember the propellers at top have a very specific way they're intended to be built.
Okay.
And I think I built it twice and I've never built it right either way. So.
Well, if you want a third shot at it, because there was a time I was delusional and thought I was going to build a city's army whenever the gyrocopter was going to be part of the army. That time's gone, but it's sitting here.
But yeah, everything I need, models. Literally every city's dwarven unit is out of stock.
Yep. And that's the thing for most of the old world right now is you can't get it. So GW's going to say, look at the fancy tournament we're going to put out. Everybody, please show up with one of the factions we say are okay in tournaments to start with. And then have our models.
Right. So far, just in general, with the old world release, I think one of the biggest flubs they did was not releasing a massive made to order of the core units for each army.
Oh yeah, do a huge made to order. Say, hey guys, lead out time on this could be huge. Like we're talking 6 months because we're gonna make sure if anyone needs this, they're gonna get it.
I wouldn't say 6 months. I'd say you got to get your ass in gear because people are excited to get their armies together.
They are.
And so, okay, let's say dwarfs, which seem to be kind of popular.
Right.
Well, honestly, okay, so dwarfs and high elves, you can't get the models.
Right.
And so for me, me personally, the dwarfs, I don't know if you remember what the dwarf warriors look like.
I do, yeah.
You cannot find an STL of dwarf warriors that look worse than the official dwarf warrior unit.
I believe that, and that's the problem right now, that if anyone at GW is paying attention at all,
right,
and looking at the store that says these are out of stock and you cannot buy them, there's a lot of very talented 3D printing sculptors out there right now.
I mean, that's the thing is the one thing wargamers are very bad at is waiting.
Yes.
And so what you're saying is, hey, guess what? We're probably going to take a year. You're not going to have access to any of your models until we release your Old World Almanac.
Yep.
So, okay, let's just say, I don't know. I can't imagine it, but high elves are last.
Yeah, I won't be, by the way.
But, right, exactly. But, are you telling me that there's going to be someone who's going to wait 11, 12 months to start their high elf army?
Absolutely not. No. Everybody knows a guy with a 3D printer or looks at the cost of the 3D printer for their old world army right now if they have to wait.
Right.
And they're going, buy the 3D printer, print the whole army, keep 3D printers, still spend the same amount of money.
Right.
Well, GW, we all like. There's a reason you're still in business. We all buy these models, still.
Right.
But you're not helping yourself whenever you don't go, hey, Old World's releasing in January, February of 2024. For the months leading up to that, we are going to overproduce these models that these people are going to buy. Why? Because we always sell out. And then, yes, we're going to have to eat the warehouse cost on holding these for the next 4 years until we sell them all out.
And again, like as far as that goes, yes, you're going to, you have to pay storage space for models that you're not selling and everything. I get it. However, you're now committing people to armies.
Yes. They're not stuck. They've bought in.
Right.
Like the most important part has happened.
Right. Listen, I mean, like I said at the beginning of the show, I can't stand the idea of these old Rangers. Mm-hmm. So I printed new Rangers that look like Rangers.
Yeah.
Like I already have Dwarf Warriors that look amazing.
Right.
I love my Dwarf Warriors.
I know you do.
I could never in a million years imagine myself painting those new or the old Dwarf Warriors.
Right. Yeah.
So I will happily forego going to an official GW Old World tournament.
Yep.
To play with models I actually like.
Yeah. And as I had brought up in the past, this is the same group of people who enjoy Old World or are excited about it, or the same group that don't worry, we'll comp it and do this shit ourselves.
Right.
And you got to treat them right from the jump, or they'll just be like, well, we're back to this boat.
Boy, can I tell you, I don't know what it is about fantasy, but I have never seen such a vitriolic community.
Yes. That they will tell you what they think immediately. Sorry, you didn't want to hear it? Too late.
It's not even that. It's like they will jump through hoops to bitch about something.
Yes. Gonna find it.
They'll bitch about new models because, well, that's not what my fantasy is about. My fantasy is old school, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, here's old models. I'm not paying for 30-year-old sculpts. What are you talking about? But
I'm not paying current GW price for the 30-year-old sculpt.
Which, also, to be fair again, I feel like prices have been, while a little high, generally fair.
Right. At the end of the day, even though they're using the old sculpts.
Yes.
The cost of having business done to get these made is still... Does GW inflate things a little bit? Yeah. Do they still need to make a profit so we can have this game? Also, yes.
Right. So, like, a little high, but much better than I was expecting.
Yes. I was kind of expecting some Middle-earth pricing.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yep, so. I was too. I think they reserved themselves well. They stayed their hand. I appreciate it. Could have
messed that up real easy. Could have messed it up real easy.
But yeah, I mean, as of right now, by the time you start releasing these armies, everyone's already going to have their 3D printed army, and they're going to buy your book, and they're going to go, well, clearly no one likes this then.
Right, and this will be the end of it. Yep.
But again, I think whenever this was first, not when it was first announced, but whenever we were talking about it, when in one of the earlier episodes, I said, I don't know what you're doing because you can't release all the armies at once and you can't release all new armies at once.
Right.
Like, you can't do either one. I
remember you saying that. Yeah.
And I said, because people aren't going to sit around just sitting on their hands going, ooh, I hope my army's next.
Yes. Yes. Now, will there be a few? Yes. And awesome for those people. But there are gaming clubs and people starting tournaments and games days now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
don't want to wait that long.
You release the game, you started the clock.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So, but with that being said, though, here is the book.
Glad you got yours. I'm still on the wait list for mine.
Yeah. Well, so again, I ordered mine seconds. Well, I mean, I was in line.
You were there and ready, yeah.
I was in line. They started the queue prior to 12. well, prior to the go live time, and even then I had a 40-minute wait.
Yeah,
like, Chuck and I were talking during our time in queue, like, it's not going to be 40 minutes. Nope, it was 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, GW, put a chime or something so I can go and do something else.
Hey, it's your turn. Ching, ching.
I literally, because, like, the thing will jump. Because it was, like, saying mine was, like, 8 hours, 2 hours, hour and a half. And it was, like, just jumping down. So, like, it wasn't, I couldn't just look at it and go, okay, I'll come back in that amount of time.
Right, I'll come back in 8 hours. No.
If you could just play a chime, then I could play a video game or something on the same computer, or even watch a video.
Right, or just be in the same room as this thing I'm using, and I'll go do the dishes in the moment that I hear the chime.
Right. So yeah, good. That's important feedback. So yeah, I really haven't got a chance to look at it too much, just because I said it came in Tuesday night, and Wednesday I went and saw Neil. But yeah, the index is apparently terrible, and everyone independently of one another has said it. So what I'd like to challenge the community to come up with our own index.
This is your print off index. Set this in the back of the book.
Put it right in the back there. Yeah, like I said,
I would love that.
I'm still very excited to play, but the more I look into the rules, because I have been watching as much content as I could, not as much as Chuck has watched.
No.
I've barely been able to keep up with the amount of videos Chuck comes up with.
Right, that Chuck himself was putting out, let alone Rob over at Square-based stuff, Men of Wargaming, all these places that are doing awesome stuff.
But I gotta say, like, all of my initial concerns are still concerns. Like, watching battle reports and stuff like that have not put my mind at rest.
Yeah. You're still going to try your 30 wide unit and try and run it at me.
I mean, honestly, why not? I mean,
yeah.
So that was one of the things, like, so Neil and I were talking about that yesterday, and he was saying that, he's like, well, if you go too wide, then you expose your flank. And I'm like, well, not if there's no
paper thin.
Right. I'm like, A, my flank is paper thin, and B, who cares if I'm butted up from border to border with just flank? Like,
right. We get to the point where wherever you go has to have terrain enough to stop you from doing this.
I'm a dwarf. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm going sea to shining sea with these handgunners, and the moment you get too close, bang!
I'll put a dwarf lord or a rune lord right in the middle. Give him like 10. I guess you could stop at 3 scrolls of dispel, and then just fill it up with quarrelers. So now I have a bunch of quarrelers that have a bunch of flaming attacks and Rend 2 and.
Here we go, baby.
Oh, what's that? You have heavy armor? Do you have a shield? No? Take the damage. But yeah, man, the community is all over the place. I'm so interested to see where the meta lands. I'm very nervous that it is going to land in a toxic place.
Yeah. I think we're lucky in that the content that I'm seeing is doing everything it can not to look for a toxic way of going about things.
Let me define my terms real quick here. So by toxic, I know I just was talking about the community and how vitriolic they were. Not different type of toxic, like
different, yeah.
Like a just an unhealthy way to play the game, where it's essentially
not in the spirit of the game.
Right, you didn't think about this, so now I'm going to take advantage of it in such a way that, okay, well now, oh great, you got your 7 by.
I'm just going to take a 30 by 2 unit, have all 30 guys fight your 5 wide unit.
Right, exactly. Like, okay, who cares if they're quarrelers with hand weapons? They're still a weapon skill 4. Like,
right, yeah.
That's still going to be 30 dice launched at you.
Right.
But yeah, I think not having realistic frontline fighting I think that's a mistake. I think not having your second rank participate in combat is a mistake.
Yes, the step up is gonna be
I think
big if you go second. You're getting
I think
apart.
the no step up, I think that's a mistake. And like, to me, a rule has to pass 2 phases. Is it fun? Does it make sense?
Right.
And by does it make sense, I like to think of, even then, does it make sense is also kind of biphasic with the simple fact of, does it make sense in the game, and does it make sense if you were to like try and visualize what's going on?
Right. Like, I get, yes, you killed the guy who's in front. You didn't kill the dude in the back. Get that.
But here's the thing, though, is what that entails is when the barbarian tribes were charging the Roman legionnaires, when the Roman legionnaires killed the front line of barbarians, they stopped and waited for the legionnaires to catch their breath before they continued pushing in.
Right. Yes. Yes, I hear you.
I hear you. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't look like, I can't visualize. I mean, like, every war movie you've ever seen, whether modern, fantasy, medieval, whatever, it's always people dying and you just push around and get in front.
Right. Yeah.
Never has it been, show me one movie where the person in front dies and the person behind him is wanting to fight but can't, but he's got too many dead bodies in front of him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
It doesn't make sense. And like I said, it's just so punishing. So, like, I honestly don't know how I bring hammerers.
Right. The thing is, especially with the increasing initiative on the charge, boy, that unit that charged is going to, like, unless somehow the unit that charged, which is going to happen, the unit charged has less initiative than when it is fighting. And just, you can have the point that I charged.
So what is the?
Oh shoot! You did 5 wounds.
So so what is the unit charging get? Do they get just +1?
So they get to up to +3 depending on how far they went to their initiative. Yeah.
Okay, so hammers do have an ability of they innately get +1 if they charge.
This also applies after things like the always strikes last rule. So you can have always strikes last, charged you, is it an ish 3 or 4? So it can make a very interesting time as far as I'm concerned.
I wonder, you know what? It's my show.
I was going to say, book's right beside you.
It's my show.
Why don't we have a look?
Let's see how good this index is.
Let's see how bad this index is.
All right, so let's see charging.
Yeah. Well, you do that. I'm going to have a look in this notes thing that I, came across. Just some notes.
Okay. Boy, this is gonna gonna take a while to digest this one.
What exactly are we looking for right now?
Okay, so right now we're looking to see what is the bonuses on the charge.
Just if I were to guess, I'd guess you should look on page 146.
146? Why 146? That's so far away from the...
It's a weird guess that are on these notes I have. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just in the combat phase. Okay.
Yes.
Charging an enemy in their front rank, +1 per full inch move to a maximum of 3. Okay, so that's not bad.
No.
And then you charge the flank, you get plus... Okay, so it's plus up to a maximum 4 if you charge the rear or side.
Right.
So that's not terrible. So if you can get hammers somehow in a position to charge a side flank, you could technically have, because they're normally initiative 2, they get +1 on the charge to be at 3. So then you could technically get them up to 7.
Yep.
That will
would be
never
very
happen.
interesting. Right. But Magical Christmas Land can have some Inish 7 coming down to somebody.
The level of dumbness that you would need in order to be able to get flank charged by dwarves.
Boy, yeah, I'd be very surprised if you get yourself flank charged by dwarves.
But it's just like, I don't... And again, like, here... I wonder with how much... Because it seems like there's a lot of rend in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And there's very
yes
little
and
armor.
no. Yes and no. So, like, a lot of our core units, I think, are going to have base hand weapons.
Right.
From things I'm looking at. And
well,
then,
your core.
As an Empire player, I'm going to have base hand weapons and things. But even then, unlike in 8th edition, strength isn't going to contribute to the armor pen, which is going to be very interesting.
I'm glad, but I also really kind of liked that system. I thought it was very... I
missed it. Yeah.
I thought it was very clever, but
yeah.
I think it's for the better.
Right. Yes, definitely for the better.
Let's take a look. Did I pull the... Nope, pulled Ravening Hordes, of course.
No.
See here.
Oh, no.
Let's take a look. Okay. So we got Forces of Fantasy. What page are the Empire of Man on? So that looks like 45.
Yeah.
We can do some direct comparison. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And the Dwarven Mountain holds are right before you, so...
Perfect. Makes it easy.
Do they have any... No, there's no Rangers in this picture.
Uh-oh.
However, one thing I'm very excited for...
Yes.
The Anvil of Doom looks like it's good.
Okay, that'll be very cool to see, because I never actually got to see that thing on the table, so...
Neil printed me out one. I think it's a little small. So
it happens.
Actually, you know what? Before we get into your stuff, let's look at it real quick. Because it's a little silly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why not? Why not?
All right, so Anvil of Doom. Okay, so stats, not important. You're not bringing this thing to fight. It's immobile.
Right.
Oh, it's also the first thing I've seen without a base size. So this is not going to base.
Oh. What?
But it is a War Machine character.
Interesting.
So this is this has a thing called Strike the Runes, where it counts as a level 3 wizard.
Okay, cool.
But it is not a wizard.
But it's not a wizard, it's an Unbinder or something.
It's both. So basically these are prayers in a game that doesn't really have prayers. So they're basically just safe. They just
my priests do the same thing as they're making leadership saves.
I roll off, and if it doesn't go off, nothing happens.
Right.
So you can only do one of these abilities per phase.
One per phase.
One per phase. So Rune of Oath and Steel. It's enhancement, casting value 7 up or 11 up, range 24 inches.
Okay.
24 inches. If this bound spell is cast with a result of 7 or more, the target friendly unit may reroll any failed armor saves. If this bound spell was cast with an 11 or more, the target friendly unit may reroll any failed armor save rolls and improve its armor by 1.
Ooh.
The spell lasts until the start of your next subphase. So now you can get 2 up, re-rolling 1 Ironbreakers.
I'm a fan. That sounds pretty cool.
Hearth and Home enchantment, 7+, self. Until the next start of your turn subphase, all friendly dwarf units within 21 inches of the Anvil of Doom are immune to psychology.
Okay. That's cool.
Again, I like so that's the one where I think you have to choose between that one or this one.
Right.
I like the first one more.
Right. But I can see where there gets to be a point if you army build in a certain way where you're just like, you know what? Let's not be worried about psychology. We're going to just stand there. Yeah.
Right. Well, again, if you have a unit that has a lot of terror and I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Rune of Haste and Urgency. Casting value of 10+, range 24 inches. If the target friendly unit is not fleeing and has already moved during the movement phase, it may immediately move again.
Good.
So,
and that's a move, so that means you can march?
I believe so.
So that could be very interesting, having some dwarves move a whole 12 inches in a turn.
Yes. What's interesting is...
baby. Booking it.
Neil reminded me that you don't necessarily want to get your dwarves too far away from each other. However, then I reminded him about the dwarf gyrocopter, and he went, shit.
Don't worry, it's going to keep up.
And then, of course, you have a magic missile, Rune of Wrath and Ruin, casting value of 9, 27-inch range. Target enemy suffers 2d6 strength 4 hits with AP of 2.
I like that. That's strong.
So, hell, you get close to me? Pa-pow, pa-pow, pow.
Yeah. I feel like you'll use the moving one a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, so those are different phases.
Oh, completely different phases.
One's the movement phase, the other one's a shooting phase. So I can do 3 of those.
Do it all.
Every turn.
That's pretty good. I'm a big fan. Okay, so we make a huge unit of Ironbreakers. We push them as far forward as we can. And then we just shoot people that get too close.
Right.
I like it.
And so then on top of that, it's a Dispel level 3. I mean...
Yeah, and definitely helpful. I do not know. Do dwarves have a universal spell defense?
Yeah, so there's a universal cross... Well, it's not universal. It's on every war scroll, but they're all minimum magic resistance 1.
Awesome. I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, so now whenever you cast a spell, you're basically -1, and then I'm rolling 3 dice to
stop.
And then I can also take a couple Dispel War Scrolls.
Very sweet. I'm a big fan because, I remember that being dwarves' big thing. You get that magic the heck out of here. Mm-hmm. So, awesome.
All right, so for you, what unit are you excited for?
What unit am I excited for? So myself, of course, it will always... Nah. The most exciting unit is actually currently Demigryph Knights.
Demigryph Knights. Let's take a look.
Yeah, they are actually the most exciting unit.
While I'm finding them, I have heard people kind of grumble and groan. Mm-hmm. That the Empire is feeling a little weak, and then other people keep reminding them, this is going to be the army where you have to put more than one hero in a unit.
Yes. Every list that I have built, I think I have a singular infantry block sitting for the center of it that has 3 heroes in it. A battle standard bearer, a wizard, and a priest.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's just going to be normal.
Okay.
And, I'm big on these Demigryph Knights, though.
Ooh, 58 points.
You're only taking a unit of like 3. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, so we got move 7, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, tough 4, wounds 3, initiative 4, 1 attack, leadership 8.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see.
The mount itself does get 3 attacks and initiative 4, strength 5.
Yeah, I was seeing that.
Which is nice.
Let's see. So are you giving them halberd or lances?
Lances.
Okay.
So on the charge, we're going to give us +2 strength. Strength 6 coming in. with AP -2. What is it? Armor. I forget
Yeah,
what
let's see.
the
You
keyword
have
is.
heavy armor and shields, so you're going to be
Yes.
on a 4-up.
4 up. These have barding.
Yeah. So is that
So
give
we're
another plus
actually-
1?
Yep, 3 up. Yep. So we're on a 3 up. This unit, the big thing I think are its special rules. Having counter charge
Oh wow,
is
fear.
huge. Fear and first charge, I think, will be very interesting.
All right. Let's work through it. What's counter charge?
Counter charge is you've been declared as the target of a charge, and you must do your charge reactions. If you would like, you can say, I'm going to counter charge. If you are obviously outside the unit's movement, just like with stand and shoot, you can declare your counter charge. You roll, I think it's a D6 or a D3, not remembering off the top of my head at this point, and move the model as though you're trying to charge the opponent that far at them. You count as charging. So everyone's charging. So I get the initiative bonus for charging you. I get the strength bonus on my lance for charging you. It's great.
Okay. So then we have first charge.
First charge is whenever I hit you, I forget what the keyword is called, but it is essentially you are disordered. So you're not getting your rank bonuses.
Oh wow.
On the first charge of the game.
Wow. And then swift stride?
Swift stride is if you're making a charge, you get to add D6 to the distance you charge and 3 inches to the max you're allowed to declare a charge.
Oh wow.
Whenever I flee, I'm rolling 3 dice though as well. So goes 2 ways. And then fear is of course fear, which is just nice to have.
Yeah. What is fear in this one? Is it still like the old one? We have to roll leadership to see if you can attack or something?
So it's not to see if you can attack, I don't believe. I would need to actually pull up fear to remember. I believe it's more or less to get a -1 to your weapon skill.
Okay. I think
for that
I think there's
combat.
terror.
Yes, terror is whether or not you can even charge.
Okay. I can't remember it all. So let's
That's
see here.
okay. There's too much going on,
So
and
let's
we're
see.
all new to this, so please
What-
be gentle to everyone who wants to give a shit for not knowing these rules yet.
So what's kind of your core stand and fight
Core of the
dudes?
army.
Is it your free company militia, your state? Well, I guess not the missile.
I think
troops.
you're going to take state troops. I think you take a lot of those.
Empire State.
Unfortunately, all mine are swords and boards. I think you take a bunch of spears these days, but
All right, so let's
that's
take
okay.
a look here. I think
This
these
is just-
do.
the bog standard human of so this is going to be not impressive at all if you look at a state troop.
So I want to just compare them to dwarf warriors.
Sounds great.
So let's take a look.
I've got the state troop up if you want to just pull your warrior.
Okay. All right. So first and foremost, my dwarf warriors are 8 points a dude.
All right. So for the base state troop, we're talking 5.
Okay.
Yep.
So for me, I'm move 3, weapon skill 4, BS 3, strength 3, tough 4, wound 1, initiative 2, attack 1, leadership 9.
Okay. So for the basic state troop and not the veteran, which maybe is a more fair comparison because those are 7 points instead of 5. But for the basic one, move 4, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness, you guessed it, 3, wounds 1, initiative 3, attacks 1, leadership 7.
Okay. So definitely not as much of a difference as I would have expected.
No.
But I think where we'll get things into here is, what's your equipment?
My equipment is a hand weapon and light armor.
So mine's a hand weapon and heavy armor.
Yeah.
So you started at
difference
6,
of 1
I started
save.
at 5.
Right. So I think the big thing is the leadership, and I think your weapon skills one better, right?
Mhm.
So weapon skill 4. Yeah.
Now, do you have the what are your weapon options?
Weapon options are halberds and thrusting spears for our weapons, and we can take a shield if we want.
Okay.
1 point each for those.
Yeah, for ours, we may take a great weapon, and we may take shields. 1 point. 1
Each
point
for
as well.
those.
So
So you just auto take the shield unless you really want to have a great weapon unit.
Yeah.
And you're talking a 4-up where my best is a 5-up. That's okay.
Let's see here. Do you have the option to take drilled or veteran special rules?
We can take drilled. To be a veteran, we have to be 7 points each. But for those 7 points, we go up 1 in our weapon skill.
Okay. Yeah, for us, drilled and veteran is also 1 point each.
Okay.
And then for special rules, they're closed, hatred, orcs, and goblins, magic resistance 1, resolute, and shield wall. Resolute's not necessarily a good roll or a good rule.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I pursue or fall back, I do 1 less.
Okay. Yeah, all we have is close order, detachment, regimental unit. I think that if you are going to take a lot of state troops, you need to figure out the detachment and regimental unit parts and make that work for you.
Yeah,
because if you can't outsmart your opponent and make it to the point that they're going to charge into something and get charged or shot for doing that, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, the for the dwarves, that shield wall ability.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it's a universal rule. I think it's universal because it's not in here. But
I was
basically,
say, it's probably in the base rule book.
It's like a once per game. I forget. It's not. It's good. It's not as good as I would hope.
Yeah. Oh, here I may have it up. So once per game during a turn which it was charged, a unit with a special rule that is arranged in close order formation that is equipped with and chooses to use shields may give ground rather than fall back in good order.
Oh, there you go. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
That's
not at all. Yeah.
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, again, the one thing that we have that everyone else wishes they had is like 5 pages of runes where we can custom make our heroes however we want them.
And I do remember seeing some 100-point rune where we're just like, I'm going to be toughness 10 now.
Well, so the big one that that is kind of an auto include is for the standard runes.
Okay.
The 80-point Master Rune of Grugny.
Okay.
So this is the BSB only.
Yeah.
A unit carrying a standard inscribed with the Master Rune of Grugny has a 5+ ward save against any wounds suffered. In addition, while within 6 inches of the model carrying the standard, friendly units have a 6+ ward against any wounds suffered during the shooting phase.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. 5-up ward, and then you keep him on the edge of a unit to give another unit.
Yep.
Okay.
And then there's like, I could do, if I wanted to do there is, okay, so here's a rune, Strolla's rune, which is 25 points. I can give a unit the Vanguard special rule.
Okay, so you get a move before the game.
Yeah, which I might want to do with, because I have a unit of Rangers, obviously, that I would like to take, and you can give their standards. Basically, everyone that has a standard, you can put a couple points in, and to get a special one. I know one thing that everyone wants, or everyone's doing for like the Hammerers, Rune of Confusion. Any enemy units that charges the front arc of a unit carrying this standard makes a disordered charge.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is pretty good. That is pretty good.
Come to the front arc, will you?
Oh, will you? Well, you're going to lose this fight.
Yeah. The only thing, I'll tell you, like, out of the runes, the only thing that kind of makes me sad is I lose my Rune of Spellbreaking level 2.
Oh.
Which was the one where I auto dispel, but then I also roll some dice, and if I roll high enough, you forget the spell.
Oh, geez. I don't want to deal with this spell ever again. Please go home.
That's how I beat Mark the first time, because Bretonnians have this spell that enhances all their other spells.
In 8th edition, yes, but yeah.
Yes, in 8th edition, yes.
Yes, so anyone's listening isn't confused here.
Sorry. 2 years ago at Teyrathi Invitational, we played 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battles.
Yes, there we go.
He attempted to cast that core spell.
To buff all of his casting.
Used my level 2, made him forget it.
Oh.
I don't know why I'm allowed in the barn. I honestly don't. Like,
yeah, you're just so mean to that poor guy. And it's his barn. So I don't know. I'd tell Chuck, like, hey, that Matt guy, yeah, he don't show up.
Yeah, look at it. So in that game, I made him forget that spell.
Yep.
I made him destroy his own trebuchet first time he tried to shoot it.
Oh no.
I made his BSB flee that made everything else flee.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
It was just it was not a good time.
It just went downhill and it kept going downhill. Boy.
And of course, let's take a quick peek at Chaos Dwarves.
Yeah.
So I've looked at these before.
I have not actually looked at any of those armies that were the PDFs that came out, honestly. So
I think all the stats are really good. I think it's a pretty solid baseline. The issue is, I think it has the same issue that they did in Fantasy 8th Edition.
Mm-hmm.
Their points are too high.
Yeah.
It happens. There's essentially what it boils down to is, everything's very expensive. So it's like in order to run an appropriate list, you basically just can't take Chaos Dwarves.
I was going to say, I was looking at my Infernal Guard and Infernal Ironsworn and going, it's a little expensive.
Yeah. So essentially what you do is you just focus on Hobgoblin Wolf Riders.
Okay.
So honestly, on page 10, this is your army.
Okay, are these the Iron Demon? Or wait.
No. Oh. Page 10. So the Hobgoblin Wolf Riders. So you just take a bunch with short bows because they have fast cavalry, fire and flee.
Oh.
So you can just run around and just shoot with no penalties.
That could be rather entertaining, yeah.
And then
you just got to keep them inside a range of your bow. But yeah.
Right. So that's your biggest problem. But then you just hit them hard with Centaur renders.
Yeah.
And whatever's there is gone.
Yeah. I'm a fan.
And then like all the artillery is awesome, but like you're looking at like the Iron Demon is 275 points to be the head of a choo-choo.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really do that much.
Right. I mean, it's got a lot of words, but I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the best thing you have is the Steam Cannonade, which is a single strength 5-shot AP1 armor bane 1 cannonade cumbersome.
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
Now I still love that the Lamasu still can cast spells.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
So this is one thing I loved about the 8th edition ones is putting a Sorcerer Prophet on a Lamasu. So you put a level 4 wizard on a level 3 wizard.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're just gonna sit wizards on top of our wizards.
Wizards on wizards, hats on hats.
It's fine, everybody. We all love it. We all love it.
But again, like, so just by putting the Sorcerer Prophet, making him a level 4, putting him on a Lamasu, you're already at 400 points. Like,
I mean, yeah.
And it really doesn't do that much.
Right.
But, let's see. So the Dreadquake Mortar, I really like the Dreadquake Mortar. So it has a range of 72 inches.
Seems okay.
Multiple wounds, a D6. And Quake.
Okay.
So Quake, until the start of turn sub phase, any unit, friend or foe, that was within 2d6 inches of the center hole of the blast template after scattering is -1 to movement and cannot use Swift Strider.
Ooh, okay. So you can slow down quite a few people with that. Yeah.
Right. So I love that. So 165 is expensive, especially considering like you got to put the ogre loader on there to counteract the slow reload.
Okay.
Um,
So we're more looking at 180 then.
Yeah, 185 is way too much.
Sorry.
Way too much.
Okay.
Now again, it does do D6 multiple wounds, but so the magma cannon there, you'll see that it has the fire thrower special ability.
Yeah.
What that means is
we're setting the flamethrower template out like
you are
a couple inches away.
throwing. It's a cannon rules, but instead of scatter, you throw the teardrop template.
Oh, let's not. Let's just not. Thanks. My block of state troops just got very scared. Let's not.
So I love that, but at the same time, it's like it's 125. I think that's reasonably priced, but a lot of people aren't talking about it, so I feel like I'm missing something.
As a guy whose Empire Great Cannon costs 125, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Well, again, the problem is I still haven't learned everything about the game, so like I don't know how strong that is.
Right.
Like I don't see where it says.
And I haven't read what the flame throwers do, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah. So, like I said, I would love to run this army, but I don't know how. Like, let me put it this way: I would love to run this army, but I want to bring Chaos Dwarves.
Right.
And Chaos Dwarves are, in my opinion,
too expensive.
Just too expensive. Like, just so.
Yeah.
Going back up to the standard, I think Infernal Guard is the normal one. So these have the same profile as dwarves, except they have strength 4 instead of strength 3. So they're base 3 points higher.
Base 3 points higher for strength 4, toughness 4 for dwarves as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so other than that, they're identical. So you're just looking at...
so you're paying 3 points for the...
plus 1 strength, and then you still have to do +1 for shields. Maybe if they came with shields, it'd be one thing.
I agree, yeah.
But like, they're...
So what else do they get extra rules-wise? We've got detachment, regimental unit, resolute, shield wall, and stubborn.
So you have stubborn. That is very good.
Okay, so you're also paying for the stubborn.
But again, though, the issue is with how expensive they are. Well, I should say with how expensive if these were the expensive things, you'd be okay. But since everything else is just like a little, it's a tiny, because like I made a, no, I don't have my phone with me. I made a list, and it has like, I want to say it's like 40 models.
Oh wow! Okay.
And all it is, and this could be a little off, guys. I'm winging it here. I'm just learning. Sorcerer Prophet on Lamasu. All I did was made the Sorcerer a level 4 wizard.
Okay.
I didn't take anything else.
Yeah.
no other bonus.
Didn't try and jack his price up. Yeah.
I did take a Demon Smith, just because they're good. They're good engineers, and they cost the same as an engineer. I took a what's the Seneschal? I think it's the Seneschal's the BSB.
Trying to figure it out myself real quick here. So whatever
the BSB is. It's single Infernal Seneschal.
Yeah.
So I took a Seneschal, and then I took I'm so lost in this PFD. BDF.
There we go. We got there.
So I took a small, I think it was like a 5x3 unit of Infernal Guard with shields.
Okay.
a 5 block with the blunderbusses.
Yep.
And like that was
most of your dwarves, huh?
Yeah, that was bit. So then like it was then a block of 3 bull centaur renders.
Okay.
And the magma cannon, and I was done.
Gotcha.
I'm like, I cannot win with this list.
Yeah, it's hard. That's hard. Oof.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
Like I said,
it'll be interesting.
I'm,
Someone will have figured out.
but we gotta get it done by March for Adepta won't.
There we go. You're taking your regular dwarves. It's fine.
Yes. No. These guys aren't. No. These guys aren't.
Okay.
I'm just saying the game in general. It's like,
yes, we have to learn it enough. I've got to paint that.
so
So
much.
yeah, it's fine.
Like I said, I'm telling you, you haven't gotten that far. You should slap chop them.
Look, we're already using speed paints. All right, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, you saw my zombies. You saw the benefits.
I know they looked good.
And that's just slap chop and contrast.
Yep.
Oh man. I'll show you
Did we go?
the size of my my anvil of doom here, which I said might need to be a little.
Uh-oh.
We might need to get a little bigger here, just to get it a little more doomy.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the base.
Okay.
Compared next to a ranger.
Oh no. Okay.
Just a wee little lad.
Yeah. Just one lad. It's fine.
Yeah. So
to be fair, they don't list a base for it, so
Right.
it can be whatever size of damn
Yeah.
please.
so I because whenever I sent it over to Neil to print it, I was like, I just need it because that's one of the ones that's so iconic. I kind of
Right, and
I
if it's
want the
actually
real
good, awesome.
Yeah.
Especially if you feel like you can put it in a list.
That was one thing that was very interesting. Is people keep talking about how the Dwarf Lord now has 3 shield bearers.
Oh,
And like I'm like, okay, well, so previously
the model was 2, right?
the model was 2, but then they also had like the like the palanquin sort of thing where they would stand on it, but then they had 4.
Right.
So I guess we're getting like either a
just-
compact palanquin
They're
or
going to put it on a round shield. There'll be 2 guys in the front. One dude has to be in the back, and that's going to be it.
so I have a Dwarf Lord model that I have not assembled because it looks like a nightmare. Because you have dwarves with stump hands
Mhm.
that I have to put either like the holdy hand or a weapon,
Right.
and so I have 4 of them, and then a platform. So I have like 4 dwarves that I have to worry about balancing, and then all getting their hands in the right place at the right time.
Right. Yeah.
And then balancing that on top of them, but I can't do it all at the same time because I need to I don't know.
Yeah. Oh
So-
boy.
I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to getting some games in. I said we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm hoping I fall in love. I don't think I will. I think I'm
Right.
going to enjoy it, and I think whenever I see Chuck or Neil, and they go, "Let's get some old world in," I'll be like, "Sounds great."
Right.
But I don't think I'll be like heading out Sunday morning to go play some old world at the Fabricator Forge. Like,
Right. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
so I don't know. Are you kind of on the same page, or do you have a little bit higher expectation, or where are you?
I'm kind of on the same page. Like
Yeah.
as much as I want to be excited, I know it's going to happen. I mean, this is it's for a good time,
Right.
type of thing.
Well, I'll say I'm more excited for a new game than I am. Like just I'm more excited for something new as opposed to, my new game. I don't think this will be that place.
Yeah.
I think hopefully in July 4th edition will come out. Hopefully they'll fix some of my qualms and it'll relax a little bit, or at least we'll have a couple months of have a good time.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So we'll see. All right.
Yeah.
I think I'm out. I think I'm done.
All right, man. Yeah.
I guess we should probably learn Flesh Eater Quartz, and I should probably
Yes, we should learn Flesh Eater Quartz for next month. That's
probably
for
see if
certain.
Seth wants to come on.
That'd be a great person to have on. Yes. Yes,
I mean,
that'd be awesome.
I, I was last time I was talking to him, I was giving him such a hard time. I'm like, boy, it must be real hard being like just like a new adopter or Flesh Eater Court. Now all of a sudden they're good. I've been into
Yeah.
them for a whole time. He's like,
Oh yeah.
He's like, I'll kill you in your sleep.
Good. He needs to give you shit. He needs to.
All right, everybody.
Awesome.
February's a short month, so you only have to deal with us not having us for just a tiny bit, and then we go back into March.
It'll be fewer. I mean, it'd be great.
Yep. So then we got Flesh Eater Court, and then after that we'll have our Adepticon and Old World reviews.
Yeah, Old World reviews. Keep you guys all up to date on the map campaign. It'll be great.
All right, everybody. Have a good month.
All right. Bye, everyone.